Elite Dangerous is often perceived as a game where success is measured by the size of your ship. And that's what she said. Anyway, from the legendary Anaconda to the sought-after Imperial Cutter, the Federal Corvette, that tip of the spear, or the flying dinner plate that marks the Type 10, these large ships are often seen as the pinnacle of progress and achievement, offering vast cargo holds, heavy firepower, and immense survivability. However, this mindset overlooks the depth and variety of gameplay that smaller and perhaps medium-sized ships can provide within Elite Dangerous. Not only can they be more practical for various tasks, but also they offer a more immersive and engaging gameplay experience for those commanders who appreciate agility, challenge, and some skillful flying. Let's get a discussion going on this. Now, I'm not saying I'm right, but then again, I'm not saying I'm wrong. Make sure you answer in the comments. Get your point across. I read every one. Let's get into it then. Where it is probably safe to say that small ships and medium ships play to a wider demographic, the large ships undeniably have their place in Elite Dangerous. Whether it was taking on the Thargoids in the Thargoid War, whether it's trucking stuff across the galaxy to set up colony bases, do community goals, or just generally hang out longer in a fight, they're not the only measure of success. And how would you measure success in a sandbox game? For me, it's through enjoyment. It's through immersion. Smaller ships offer a richer, more immersive experience where skill matters more than brute force. You've really got to think, and it can lead to a nice chill experience as well. They're cost effective, they're agile and versatile, allowing players / commanders to engage in different playstyles without being locked into massive credit investments. One of the biggest things is agility. That's what small ships and medium ships have over the larger things. It wasn't uncommon where you would see eagles take out anacondas, flying right up its trumpet to give it to him, right in the thrusters. Now, when small ships spring to mind, the most immediate benefit for me is going to be agility. The likes of the Viper Mark III, the Eagle, the Imperial Courier, they're not built to be trading blows with larger ships, but their speed and maneuverability allow them to be a bit of a contender. Skilled pilots can outfly opponents and also deal some significant damage, especially in player-via-player engagements. There's the invading of the enemy fire aspect of things. Large ships such as the Anaconda or Type 10 are powerful, but are so slow and sluggish, it's going to be a problem. They rely on shield strength, hull integrity to tank damage. In contrast, smaller ships can weave through enemy fire, making them difficult targets in both PvE and PvP situations. There's that ability to strike hard, strike fast, no mercy. Speed and agility allow small ships to adopt hit-and-run tactics. This is particularly effective in assassination missions or conflict zones where fast repositioning is crucial, and that will also lead to less unscheduled dismantlings of your ship. That Core Dynamics Vulture is a small ship that has got 2 large hardpoints on it and is as nimble and can turn on a sixpence, as they used to say in the UK. It is perhaps the OP combat ship in the small arena. That ability to strike hard, strike fast. The firepower is comparable with those 2 large hardpoints, along with the agility, to a larger vessel, but retains that excellent mobility. So striking hard, striking fast, at the moment is perhaps the OP ship for getting in there and mugging somebody off. There's also that joy of dogfighting. The joy of dogfighting. There's something inherently thrilling about engaging in close-quarter dogfights, where piloting skill determines the outcome. While big ships may rely on turrets, fixed weapons in combat in small ships are a rewarding experience and lay down a hell of a lot more damage. And it can also really be a true test of a pilot's mettle. With a large ship, you're probably going to be prone to jousting with an opponent. That's where one ship flies at another, turns around, flies at another, that sort of thing. In a small ship, getting that flight assist off can make it a more frantic, a more rewarding experience. Let's talk about exploration and the freedom smaller and medium ships can give you over the larger ships when you're exploring outside the bubble. Many commanders believe that only large ships such as the Anaconda, the Jumperconda, are suitable for deep space exploration. While a larger fuel tank and increased jump range certainly are useful, the introduction of ships like the Mandalay, I wouldn't say have completely written the Anaconda or Jumperconda off, but they're certainly making a big dent in its mantle. Whereas increased jump range, like I say, is useful, and small and medium ships offer a level of immersion that larger vessels cannot match in regards to this, in my opinion. You get a more personal connection to your ship. We haven't got space legs, so, there's no wandering around the vastness of your Anaconda, looking longingly at cargo or your SRVs. Flying a smaller vessel, like a Diamondback Explorer or an Asp Scout, can create a more personalised and intimate experience. You feel connected to what you're doing. And like a vast bridge, the cockpit of a small ship does make you feel like an actual space traveller, especially if you're doing it all in VR. There's also the problem with large ships of landing on high gravity planets. Larger ships often struggle, and when I say struggle, fall like a rock with high gravity landings due to their mass and lack of manoeuvrability. A small ship such as a Dolphin, an Adder, those sort of size of ships can safely land on planets with high G-forces, making planetary exploration and exobiology more accessible. There's also risk-free deep space travel. In reality, space travel in Elite Dangerous is where the accidents happen. Whether it's an unexpected binary star that overheats your ship or accidental collision with an asteroid, small ships are easier to recover from these situations due to their superior speed, heat efficiency, and inevitably their low rebuy cost. I would also be remiss if I didn't mention economics at this stage and the cost-effective nature of small and medium ships over the larger ships. It goes without saying, the affordability and low operating costs. Many players work towards purchasing big ships without considering the cost of maintaining them. Large ships require more expensive outfitting, higher fuel consumption, general maintenance, and costly rebuys. In contrast, the small ships and medium ships allow players to experiment more with builds without the threat of financial ruin. Some third-party applications can also help by basically allowing you to build on a web interface what the ship would actually look like and how it would typically perform. People have done the research. The insurance rebuy costs. Well, you lose an Anaconda, your wallet's going to be stinging. If you haven't got enough money for a rebuy, you're going to be crying right into your Lavian brandy. But you might be looking at millions of credits if you lose a larger ship. If you lose a Viper Mark IV, that's a fraction of the cost. It also allows players to make more risks, engaging in activities like piracy, bounty hunting, and combat without those severe penalties. Do it in the right power play system, and it's going to be even greater reduce for you if you've got the right power to be pledged to. And when you think about it, if you buy one of the pre-built ships, depending on how you change the internal engineering to it, it could end up costing you nothing at all. A lot of commanders also think about that flexible level of fleet management. Instead of putting all your money into a humongous ship, put it into several small, multiple specialised ships in the small and medium area to allow for more varied playstyle. We certainly saw this during the Thargoid War, and more than likely we're going to see people doing several cargo runs in a Type 8 as opposed to that Type 9. It all depends on the level of the player. You can have a dedicated explorer, dedicated bounty hunters and trader ships without spending billions on kitting them out. This is just a short video on my thoughts in regards to large v small ships and what are the benefits of a small ship over a large one. Yes, the large ships can be grandiose. You can feel that you've achieved something. But sometimes, just banging around in a DBX Explorer and Asp Scout could be just as engaging as banging around in a Type 9. At least you're not going to faceplant it into a high G world. I've been Ricardo. Let me know in the comments, where do you come down on large or small ships? I'd like to know. See you soon.